meant to make this video 7 months ago. That's when I initially asked you guys for these comments. Hello my friends, I am back again to style some outfits based on comments that you left me. I did ask for these comments about 7 months ago, but better late than never, I guess. I am always less motivated to style outfits when the weather isn't great. It's now technically officially summer, so I'm feeling a little more motivated to style outfits. However, it is indeed hailing outside currently. The nature of the weather where I live is frequent chaos. But anyway, I'm finally back in a styling kind of mood. So I picked a couple of the comments on this post that I made 7 months ago, and I am just going to kind of walk you through my process of how and why I'm picking things. I will leave all of the items of clothing that I'm wearing in the description, so if you are wondering where something is from, you can check that out. It's time to style some fantastical outfits that you have picked for me. I'm gonna do this kind of video game screen style, and the first one we have is a bard-inspired look. It's a universal truth that bards like big sleeves. I don't make the rules, and I think you get bonus points if your sleeves have stripes on them as well. For pants, I'm going with these horse riding breeches. I think these are an underrated piece of fantasy attire. When I think of boots that bards might wear, I always think of these tall ones that fold over, and I think bonus points for any extra buckles and fancy details. Nothing polishes up an outfit quite like a doublet, whether it's leather or like a fancy fabric. I think this is a must for a bard look. You gotta give bards their fancy accessories, so I chose this big belt as well as a fancier belt I am wearing, like a sash. This outfit could belong to anyone, but add a big fruity hat with some feathers and I think it instantly reads more bard. Optional accessories for a bard might include a notebook or journal with a quill, which you can write down all your stories, keep your songs in and such. Or of course there's the more classic option, an instrument. I think this makes for a pretty classic bard look, and it's also a pretty comfortable outfit, which makes it good for events like Ren fairs, LARPs, cosplay, D&D, all that good stuff. Moving on to our next type of character, a Magpie-inspired rogue. I thought this would be a really fun thing to try out. For the base, I'm going with some comfy black pants and a white frilly shirt. Rogues need a way to hide their face, and I also wanted to get that magpie coloring right, so I'm going with this black scarf as a hood, and I'm going with this fancy jacket that has the sleeves open a little bit because I figured that is also a great way to get that magpie coloring. I'm adding a belt to cinch it up, as well as a little stolen shiny treasure right here on our chest, and then of course we need some comfy, stealthy boots. I actually don't think it's possible to be a rogue without a dagger, so of course we have to add one of those. I wish I was able to get some more shiny trinkets on this outfit, but I think rogues need to be more secretive, so I like the gold trim on this jacket as well as the little brooch to kind of give that shiny treasury vibe that a magpie might be drawn to. You'll have to let me know if you think that I got this concept right, because this was a really fun one to try. The next comment I have saved is for a Necromancer inspired look. I have never tried something like this before, and I really wanted to try to get a different, unique silhouette. Starting off, I have an all black base because that just feels correct. The next layer that I think would suit this character is this medieval hood. I don't really have a good reason why, I just felt like it would fit, and then I added this kind of mysterious wizard looking cloak. I always say that fantasy is always about accessories, especially belts, so we have a corset belt layered with this white chain belt to kind of give some contrast, as well as some bones hanging off, and some white boots that kind of match the hood and belt, and tie those things together. This Necromancer also needs a spooky crown, complete with a bird skull on the front, and of course a little dagger. This one has a skull on it. I think that This is all of the bones that I have that are wearable, so this was fun. Optional accessory is an enchanted dragon skull that you get advice from. Overall, I really like how this look came out, and I wanted to challenge myself to try and layer things that I normally would not pick to go together, but I think it actually came out quite well. You'll have to let me know what you think. Next on our list to style, I have a potion maker / artificer inspired look. Okay, this outfit's gonna be a trust the process one, so we're gonna start out with some overalls and a blouse underneath with some long socks. This is where I will prove to you that accessories are the most important part of fantasy outfits. We're gonna start out with a corset belt, and then we're gonna do a second belt. But wait, hold on, we need accessories on this belt, so we're gonna put on some accessories. We have a book where you can keep your recipes, mysterious vials of things, and little mushrooms. We have a chatelaine with mischievous tools for getting into trouble, and of course a little potion jar. I am a big fan of long socks, short boots, so that is what I am doing right here. If we're going to be making potions, we need somewhere to store all of our ingredients, so that is what this little pouch is for. I also think artificers are one of the only class types that get to wear glasses, which I love, and I'm adding a little hat just to tie it all together. I was so close to doing a green shirt underneath for this one because that is the color I am naturally drawn to, but I wanted to try and challenge myself again, so let me know if you think that this works together. For the last one, I was asked to try either a dark elf look, which I already have plans for, so we're gonna do the second one, a Conan the Barbarian style girl outfit. I used this base for a fairy look at the Colorado Ren Fair, which is proof you can style things lots of different ways, and speaking of, this fur mantle that goes on my shoulders is actually going on my hips for this one. We need to add some armored looking details, so I'm gonna do this corset belt again, and then this necklace made of bones. I'm going with a single scaled bracer on my left arm because I think that asymmetry kind of lends itself to the archaic barbarian type of look well, and then I'm doing these Viking age shoes. For the final layer, we need a crown for this Barbarian Queen. This is a leather crown with moon phases in it, and I think that that fits the vibe well. And she, of course, would not survive without a giant spooky sword, so we have to add that. All of these outfits, probably aside from the bard one, have really pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I think it's a lot of fun to try and style different characters that you normally wouldn't dress up as, and it kind of makes me want to wear outfits like these to a Ren Fair or an event or something, so I would say give it a try if you kind of lean towards the same character. It might be fun to see what you can make with your closet. I hope that you enjoyed these little outfits I styled, especially if one of them is your comment. I had a lot of fun doing it, and hopefully it gave you maybe some inspiration for like D&D characters or Ren Fair, LARP, that type of thing. And yeah, that's about it for now, but I will see you again very soon.